I just know there's not a lot of leg room.
I'm good. I just can't.
My young love said to me, my mother won't mind, and my father won't slight you for your lack of kind. Then she laid her hand on me, and this she did say, it will not be long till our wedding day. Then she slipped away from me, and she moved through the fair. And finally I watched her move here and move there. Then she went her way homeward with one star away, as the swan in the evening glides over the lake. Last night I did dream that my young love came in. So softly she entered that her feet made no din. Then she laid her hand on me, and this she did say, it will not be long till our wedding day. Then she slipped away from me, and she moved through the fair. And finally I watched her move here and move there. Then she went her way homeward with one star away. It will not be long till our wedding day. It will not be long, not be long, not be long till our wedding day. love that song. It's an old Irish song. They don't even know who wrote it. That's what's so cool about it. And it's called She Moved Through the Fair. And there's so many different versions of it you can find online. Just beautiful, handed down over the ages. And supposedly it was written from the point of an IRA soldier's widow who died fighting England, and that's the sort of the backstory of it. And so it's her kind of ghost talking about all that kind of stuff. It was on one fine March morning up in New Orleans, adieu. And I hit the road to Jacksontown, my fortune to renew. I cursed all foreign money, no credit could I gain. And it left my heart a yearning for the lakes that upon should train. Well, I stepped on board of a railroad car beneath the morning sun, and I rode the rails till evening. Then I laid me down again. All strangers there, no friends to me, till a dark girl towards me came. And I fell in love with a Creole girl from the lakes that upon Pontchartrain. Well, I said, my little Creole girl, my money here's no good. And if it weren't for the alligators, I'd sleep out in the woods. You're welcome here, kind strangers, though our house, it's very plain. And we'll never turn a stranger out from the lakes that our Pontchartrain. Well, she took me into her mommy's house, and she treated me quite well. Well, their hair against her shoulders in long black ringlets fell, to try and paint her beauty. I am sure it would be in vain. So handsome was my Creole girl from the lakes that are Pontchartrain. Well, I asked her if she'd marry me. She said it ne'er could be, for she had got another, and he was far at sea. She said that she would wait for him, and true she would remain till he returned to his Creole girl from the lakes that are Pontchartrain. So it's fare thee well, my bonny old girl, I'll never see no more. But I won't forget your kindness and the cottage by the shore, and at each social gathering a flowing glass I'll drain, and I'll drink a health to my Creole girl from the lakes that I a train. That's another real old Irish tune, and it's about after the Civil War ended, there were like a lot of soldiers of fortune that came over from different countries as well to help fight. And so, if you were from the South, your money would be no good anymore, and they wouldn't accept it. And so, it's like the ultimate pickup line. This guy says. He says, "If it weren't for the alligators, I'll sleep out in the woods." And he falls in love with this Creole girl. She invites him in. It's such a cool story. And I always love stories and songs. And I lost my dad just a year ago. And it was around Thanksgiving. And my dad and I were really, really close. And he made it to 90 years old. And his mind was sharp. Man, what a mind my dad had. And my mom had died 2 years before that. They were together 61 years. And my dad was in the Royal Canadian Air Force. And he was stationed out in Nova Scotia. My mom was from Cape Breton, and from North Sydney and Cape Breton, and then she taught English in Montreal. And I was born in Halifax, Nova Scotia. But when my dad saw my mom, he fell instantly in love with her. And my dad wrote poems all the time, and he was a really cool poet. And he wrote this poem called Indian Joe. I always loved that poem, Indian Joe. And my dad would cough, and when he'd cough, he'd say, "Bahootensie." And bahootensie was a word he just made up. And my whole life, I never really asked him what it meant. I would hear him cough, and he'd go, "Bahootensie." Always in the morning alone. He'd clear his throat. And so, he was in the hospital. My mom died. He got really sick, and I knew he was going to die. And they said, "Your kidneys aren't working anymore." And he didn't want to get dialysis. My Uncle Louis had it. My dad, he was 90. He wanted to go be with my mom, he said. So he said, "No, I want to go home." And so when I did the same thing for my mom, you become sort of the ad hoc hospice nurse, and they leave you with all the morphine and the Ativan, and you help them. And the hospice workers are angels. You know, they coach you along the way. So my pop was, he knew he was going to die. His kidneys had stopped. So I had to do the whole thing again, and by now I was getting kind of good at it because I did it with my mom. So my dad had a sense of humor his whole life. He always had a gallows sense of humor, and that's where sort of I get it from. And so my dad was leaving the hospital. He knew he only had like 5 days left because when your kidneys shut down, that's about it. And so he goes, as we're driving home, he goes, "Make sure I don't feel any pain, Stevie boy. Do what you did with Mom. Remember when you killed her?" Oh man. I about spit out my drink, and so he was so funny, and he knew he was gonna die, and so I was with him, and I was holding his hand, and my tears were just dripping down on my dad, and I was holding his hand, and it was Thanksgiving, and we didn't make any food, and my dad he was about to cross over, man. It looked like he wasn't going to be awake again. And then all of a sudden there was this knock at the door. And I went and opened it, and it was my friend, Matt Donahue. And I couldn't believe it. He's 6'6", 350 pounds, and he's holding a whole Thanksgiving dinner. He left his house with his family because he knew this is my last days with my dad. This is the beauty and kindness of people. And he did this. And he brings it in, and I thought, well, my dad's, he's not going to know, but it was nice, and I'll eat this. And he walked in the room, and he was holding the food where my dad was, and my dad opened his eyes, and I swear to God, he sat up, and he looked at my friend, and he goes, "Are you a sumo wrestler?" Well, my friend Matt goes, "No, Mr. Poltz, I'm Steve's friend." "Matt," he goes, "I brought you Thanksgiving dinner. Turkey, stuffing, mashed potatoes, gravy." And then my dad goes, "Did you bring cranberry sauce?" I'm looking at my dad like, where is this coming from? And Matt goes, "Yeah, I did." He goes, "Pumpkin pie?" "Yep." "Whipped cream?" "Uh-huh." Then my dad proceeds to eat a whole turkey dinner. Gravy, stuffing, mashed potatoes, yams, cranberry sauce. And then he wolfs down a huge piece of pumpkin pie with whipped cream on it. And then he says to Matt, "Would you like to hear some Shakespeare?" And my dad back in Winnipeg in Canada had to memorize all the Shakespearean sonnets. And Matt goes, "Sure." And my dad goes, "Tomorrow and tomorrow and tomorrow creeps into this petty time." And he starts doing all these soliloquies of Shakespeare. And then he does another one. And then my friend Matt goes, "Your dad, he's amazing." And he goes, "Goodbye, Mr. Poltz." And so then it's the next morning and my dad's about to die. And I'm holding my dad's hands. My eyes are filled up with tears. And I'll never forget, my dad squeezes my hand. And he looks up at me and he goes, "We sure had some fun, didn't we?" Oh. And then he goes, "Come here." And he goes, and he coughs and he goes, "Bahootensie." And I go, "Dad, what? I've always wanted to ask you, what does Bahootensie mean?" And he goes, "Many blessings, let's go nuts." And I go, "All right." And then it's his last breaths and he goes, "Come here, closer." And I put my ear right down to his lips so I can hear him. And his final words were, "Tell that sumo wrestler it wasn't Shakespeare." And I go, "Tell the sumo wrestler it wasn't Shakespeare?" "The second poem. First one was, the second poem was Richard Lovelace to Lacosta on going to the wars." He goes, "Make sure you tell him I was wrong on the second one." And then he goes, "I still got it, Stevie boy." So I said to my dad, "Dad, if there's anything on the other side, send me a message." And he goes, "What do you want it to be?" And I said, "Indian Joe, send me a message from Indian Joe." So I was looking everywhere for a message from Indian Joe, and there was nothing. And then about 3 months after my dad died, I got up and I was going pee, and I was in some strange hotel room, and I had my iPhone as a flashlight, because I can never remember where the bathroom is. I'm in a different place every night. And then somebody had tagged me on a picture. It was a picture from 1992 with my band, the Rugburns, and we had played this show at May Day Festival, and it was a snapshot of it from a newspaper. And they said, "Remember when you played May Day Festival?" And they said, "My band played it too." And as a friend of mine, I was like, "That's so cool." But next to it, in the picture of the newspaper, was a headline for an article. And the article said, "Indian Joe traveling the world playing songs on acoustic guitar." And it was a picture of a guy with a guitar, a guy named Indian Joe. And it was just, bless you, it was a snapshot from this. I mean, this is insane, because the guy wasn't sending me because it was Indian Joe. It was amazing. So the next morning I grabbed my guitar and I wrote this song, and this is track number 2 on the new record, and this is called Conveyor Belt. Factory on the wheel of time. We don't know when our card clocks out. It was yesterday we were in our prime. Mic-mac, click-clack, don't even think about looking back. Kodak, soundtrack, I remember when my ma had a heart attack. We were all on a conveyor belt in a factory on the wheel of time. Yeah, we don't know when our card clocks out. It was yesterday we were in our prime. Tick-tack, tic-tac-toe, hey, I'm still looking for Indian Joe. Where the hell did my dad go? Maybe where the river and the rainbow flow. Yeah, maybe where the river and the rainbow go. yakety yak at the top of the tree. My love's got a money back guarantee. I'm living now in Tennessee, but I still scream Bahootin'. Hey, let's go join the Jubilee. Don't let the time run out on me. My mom and dad have gone to sea. We're all on a conveyor belt in a factory on the wheel of time. Yeah, we don't know when the car clock's out. It was yesterday we were in our prime. We're all on a conveyor belt in a factory on the wheel of time. Yeah, we don't know when our card clock's out. It was yesterday we were in our prime. Seems like yesterday we were in our prime. So that's on the new record. That's called Conveyor Belt. Here's a song I wrote one day when I was in the town of Kilkenny, Ireland. Sure as I was born in Ireland, we ain't no whiskey but raised on gin. I've been drinking so long since I was born, been so high as a kite in a storm. Hey, what do you know when you're out of whiskey, you're out on the road. Wait to Kilkenny where liquor is plenty and people are friendly wherever you go. Hey, what do you know when your glass is empty, you're bound to go back on the job just to earn a few bob. Go get liquor and rub it to Kilkenny pub. When I left my home when I was 12, I was on the road like a bat out of hell, looking for work in the county of Cork with a thick-headed dummy named Paddy O'Rourke. Hey, what do you know when you're out of whiskey, you're out on the road. Wait to Kilkenny where liquor is plenty and people are friendly wherever you go. Hey, what do you know when your glass is empty, you're bound to go back on the job just to earn a few bob. Go get liquor and rub at the Kilkenny pub. Laughing and blowing your note, dancing and singing, your ladies are swinging where I'm and numbers were staggering home. Diddly-ay, 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 diddly-ay. Kicking and splashing and pissing and cussing and guzzing and laughing and blowing your note, dancing and singing, your ladies are swinging where I'm and numbers were staggering home. Diddly-ay, 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 diddly-ay. Splashing and pissing and cussing and guzzing and laughing and blowing your note, dancing and singing, your ladies are swinging where I'm and numbers were staggering home. Diddly-ay, 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 diddly-ay. Kicking and splashing and pissing and cussing and guzzing and laughing and blowing your note, dancing and singing, your ladies are swinging where I'm and numbers were staggering home. Diddly-ay, 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 diddly-ay. Hey, what do you know when you're out of whiskey, you're out on the road on your way to Kilkenny where liquor is plenty, people look funny wherever you go. Hey, what do you know when your glass is empty, you're bound to go back on the job to start earning a few bob. Go get liquor and grab of it, I killed Kenny Paul. 2, 3, 4. I baked 100 loaves of bread, I fell down on my head. I vacuumed till I sweated, ate food that I regretted. I sat near the fire wearing questionable attire. I made a new incision to improve my circumcision again. My hair's unruly and I learned to make tabbouleh. I felt kind of groovy, watched every single movie. You know I've been depressed, I never even got dressed. I was feeling full of pity, so I joined a subcommittee. I learned the word abrogation, tried to find a new vocation, searched the whole skyscraper, trying to steal some toilet paper. Made a bong out of a peach, I learned to brush my teeth with bleach. Prayed for a vaccine, I learned about hydroxychloroquine, yeah. I was sitting on the toilet trying to get some unemployment. I stayed in the bathroom for a meeting on Zoom. Forgot I wasn't wearing pants, did a little dance. I was jiggling down below and everybody got a free show. I wore my sleeve on my heart, I found a new body part. I learned about zinc sulfate and how to meditate. I was naked in the cape, I tried to do some manscape. I lost a little bit of blood, but I still felt like a stud. I high-fived a little kid, I thought I got COVID. Listened to Jerry Garcia, made my own tortillas. Found a new cake mix, I checked my body for ticks. Got run over by a bus and a tornado almost killed us, oh yeah. I became unemployed, started getting paranoid. I was eating a burrito and got bit by a mosquito. Grew a garden full of cheer, I got cauliflower ear. Read all of Macbeth and I learned how to cook meth. I drew my curtains shut, I've been acting like a nut. I've been growing out my stubble, I've been living in a bubble. Everything was unbearable, started feeling terrible. Thought I should buy a gun, instead I got a man bun. Got to get some social distance to help with my existence. Need some logical assistance to a path of least resistance. I'm feeling undesirous and no one wants to hire us. I learned every song by Miley Cyrus and all about coronavirus. I'm a midnight lurker, I'm a least essential worker. You don't even have to ask, I use my undies for a mask. You know I understands, I gotta wash my hands. I might have worms, but I don't have demon sperms. I got a stimulus check, but I feel like a wreck. I've become a decent cook, I read every single book. I might blast off, but I cover my cough. My pants are getting baggy and I'm looking kinda shaggy, I'm a king of innuendo, I commit a big crescendo. You know I cut my hair, but I just don't care. Maybe I should join the Navy, I should give myself a shady. Accidentally got a COVID kiss, I think I need an exorcist. Help! But I'm feeling like a shut-in. I've been sweating in my body and I'm looking kinda snotty. Need a nurse, I suppose, to shove a Q-tip up my nose. I'm getting kinda grouchy, I'm in love with Dr. Fauci. I guess I could steal a tank or maybe go and rob a bank and watch my arteries harden until I get a pop. Don't need to wear shoes, yeah, so hit snooze. I was born to lose, I got the quarantine blues. I got the quarantine. 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 Quarantine blue. Maybe the sun is shining, birds are winging, or the rain is falling from a heavy sky. What do you want me to do for you, to see you through? Well, this is all a dream we dreamed one afternoon long ago. Walk out of any doorway, feel your way like the day before. Maybe you'll find direction around some corner where it's been waiting to meet you. What do you want me to do to watch for you while you're sleeping? Well, please don't be surprised when you find me dreaming too. Look into any eyes you find by you can see clear to another day. Maybe been seen before through other eyes. On other days we're going home. What do you want me to do for you, to see you through? It's all a dream we dreamed one afternoon long ago. Walk into splintered sunlight, inch your way through dead dreams to another land. Maybe you're tired and broken, your tongue is twisted with words half spoken and thoughts unclear. What do you want me to do for you, to see you through? A box of rain will ease the pain, and love will see you through. Just a box of rain, wind and water. Believe it if you need it, if you don't just pass it on. Sun and shower, wind and rain, in and out window like a moth before a flame. And it's just a box of rain, I don't know who put it there. Believe it if you need it, if you don't just pass it on. And it's just a box of rain, or a ribbon for your hair. Such a long, long time to be gone, and a short time to be there. So, I'm putting on my own festival, and it's May 17th to the 21st, and it's in Joshua Tree. And I'm teaching a song school because I like to teach songwriting, and I'll have my buddy Dan Burns teaching it with me. He's a great songwriter, and I think there'll be a couple other people, maybe Jim Lauderdale. And I'm gonna have Shook Twins play, a bunch of different bands, folk bands, and it's camping in Joshua Tree. And there's a festival that's already in place at Joshua Tree. It's called the Joshua Tree Music Festival. My buddy Barnett English owns it, and he owns the land, and he had me play. I play this festival a lot. And then during the pandemic, I would do shows. They would allow just 150 people socially distanced. I'd do those shows. She was there for one of them, and Barnett was watching me. He goes, "You should do your own festival. Just think small, just a small folk festival, and teach song school." And I was like, "Good idea." And so we're actually doing it, and the name of the festival is Bahootensie. Keeping the dream alive of my dad. And so if you're interested in that, it's on my website. You can bring your RV out or anything. You can camp under the stars, just bring a tent. And there's a lot of cool Airbnbs around that area in Joshua Tree. And it's gonna be really neat. And that'll warm you up to then come out to Meadowgrass right after that. So I hope maybe some of you will be interested in that. You never know. As drunk could be, I saw a horse outside the door where my old horse should be. And I called my wife and I said there, "Would you kindly tell to me who owns the horse outside the door where my old horse should be?" "Why, you're drunk, you silly old fool. Drunk as drunk could be. That's a lovely sow that my mother sent to me. Well, it's many a days I traveled 100 miles or more, but I saddle on a sow sure I never saw before." And as I came home one Tuesday night, drunk as drunk could be, I saw a coat upon the door where my old coat should be. And I called my wife and I said to her, "Would you kindly tell to me who owns the coat upon the door where my old coat should be?" "Why, you're drunk, you silly old fool. Drunk as drunk could be. That's the lovely blanket that my mother sent to me. Well, it's many a days I've traveled 100 miles or more, but buttons on a blanket sure I never saw before." And as I came home one Wednesday night, drunk as drunk could be, I saw a pipe upon the chair where my old pipe should be. And I called my wife and I said to her, "Would you kindly tell to me who owns the pipe upon the chair where my old pipe should be?" "Why, you're drunk, you silly old fool. Drunk as drunk could be. That's a lovely tin whistle that my mother sent to me. Well, it's many a days I traveled 100 miles or more, but tobacco in a tin whistle sure I never saw before." And as I came home one Thursday night, drunk as drunk could be, I saw two shoes beneath the bed where my old shoes should be. And I called my wife and I said to her, would you kindly tell to me who owns the shoes beneath the bed where my old shoes should be? Why, you're drunk, you silly old fool. Drunk as drunk could be. Got some lovely chamber pots my mother sent to me. And it's many a days I traveled 100 miles or more, but license on a chamber pot I never saw before. And as I came home one Friday night, drunk as drunk could be, I saw a head upon the bed where my old head should be. And I called my wife and I said to her, would you kindly tell to me who owns the head upon the bed where my old head should be? Well, you're drunk, you silly old fool. Drunk as drunk could be. That's a lovely baby boy my mother sent to me. Well, it's many a days I traveled 100 miles or more, but a baby boy with his whiskers on I never saw before. And as I came home one Saturday night, drunk as drunk could be, I saw a rise beneath the sheets where my old rise should be. I called my wife and I said to her, would you kindly tell to me who owns the rise beneath the sheets where my old rise should be? Why, you're drunk, you silly old fool. Drunk as drunk could be. That's a lovely shillelagh that my mother sent to me. There's many a days I traveled 100 miles or more, but a shillelagh with a head like that I never saw before. And as I came home one Sunday night, drunk as drunk could be, I saw a man run out the door at 3:45. And I called my wife and I said to her, would you kindly tell to me who was the man run out the door at 3:45? Well, you're drunk, you silly old fool. Drunk as drunk could be. That's a tax collector Mother England sent to me. It's many a days I traveled 100 miles or more, but I never saw any Englishman who could last till 3:45. Thank you so much. Good night, everybody. God bless you. Thanks so much. I'll do our encore since it sounded like you wanted one more, so I'll do it. Thank you again, Whitney. Man, what a blast this is. Well, when I was a kid, I always told my mom I was going to be a surgeon. And I wanted to be a surgeon really bad. And then my mom, I told her, and she goes, but I thought you said you wanted to be a singer. And I said, I want to be a singing surgeon. So here's to achieving 50% of your goals. Medical career. Well, I should have had a medical career. I'd write a script for cheer. I'd eliminate all fear. But if I had a medical career, I wouldn't play this lonely chord. I'd work the ER ward, and I'd stitch up someone's heart, and I'd analyze the chart, and I wouldn't sit alone with this guitar. I should have had a medical career. I'd hole up in my lab, I'd splice a pair of jeans, I would be first rate, take away the gene for hate. And my medical career would help me live. I wouldn't be so sensitive. I'd really try to give. My heart would never hurt, and my hands would have no dirt. And I'd never write a song that makes me cry. My name is Stephen Joseph Joshua Poltz. I got a confirmation name. It's really pretty lame. I picked it out myself when I was 12. And I never used the left side of my brain. It's useless as a stain. It's like water down the drain. But if I had a medical career, hey, I'd be good at math, and I'd take a different path, and I'd wipe out the disease that causes war. Well, the other day I saw the sweetest thing. I saw a 90-year-old man and his old wife hand in hand, and he bumped his head upon the corner door inside a grocery store, and she squeezed his hand and whispered, "I love you." The world is such a lovely troubled place, but from up in outer space, it's one big human race, and it looks just like a giant spinning eye. I never want to die. Such a beautiful blue sky, like a flower growing wild in the weeds. I should have had a medical career. Yeah, I'd write a script for cheer. I'd eliminate all fear, but most of all I'd steer myself to try and mend a broken heart. Thank you so much, everybody.
Was that not an excellent end to COVID, guys?